Hi there, Chris here with another quick tip for you all. This is a sponsored video from Firelock Games. This is Manuel Rivero de Pardal from the Blood Plunder game. He's a nice little pewter model, and we are going to quickly get this guy to a tabletop standard in this video. And this guy is a pewter model given a primer of Vallejo light gray applied by an airbrush, and we're going to use some scale 75 Gris Petrello. This is graphite gray, I believe, or graphite brown. Basically what this is going to be is a nice deep color. I didn't want to go with black. I wanted to stay with in some deeper tones, but not so dark as to go all the way to black. And this is for his boots, his gloves, his vest. I considered doing the hat, but I decided against that. I also did like the scabbard and other little details and such. Next, we're going to come in with this color here. This is a lighter version of that darker one. It's basically going to be for the hair, so this is not going to be used entirely too much. Again, it has a nice light gray tone to it, and again, it's for the hair. Oh, and his mustache, and he's got like a little soul patch thing on his chin as well. Basic flesh is next. This is again going to be applied to obviously the flesh areas. There's just not a whole lot, just basically his forehead, his eyes, cheekbones, and nose, and of course his chin as well. And you can see that we did a little soul patch after. Oh, and of course his lower in his neck. Deep red is next. This is going to be for the cloak that obviously is on his back. And really quickly here, we just thin this down just a little bit with some dampness of the brush and begin applying it to the model. We're also going to apply this to the little ribbon on his hair, his hat as well. Thar brown is next. Again, this is all from scale 75. Basically, we're going to slap this onto the palette, and we are going to use this for the shirt and pants. Again, for the pants, I was considering doing other design, but I decided against it. I kind of like the broad coloring of the clothing, and I did like the little texture on the pants and such. African Shadow is next. This is a really dark, deep brown. On the camera here, kind of has almost like a purplish hue to it, but when you look at it in real life, it's got way more brown quality to it, and so I'm using that just for his hat. Next is a Victorian Brass, and this is obviously for the handles of his swords, the little guard and such, as he's got the little kind of foil and other kind of sword there. I can't remember what the other kind of sword is. It's got like a little T kind of cross guard to it. One thing you will notice for those longtime viewers is that we are going around and base coating basically every detail, and that's part of the plan here. The Rasch Metal is next. Obviously, this is going to be for the blades. And of course, you see with the gold, we also did a couple of the little buckles and, of course, like on his scabbard and everything like that. Once we have everything base coated, we're going to use some Army Painter Strong Tone Quick Shade. I'm going to add some Liquitex Flow Aid, and I'm also going to add just a drop or two of water to this as well. And I'm going to allow about, 3-4 drops and about 2-3 drops of Liquitex Flow Aid, and then a good amount of water, just like a couple drops. And then basically I'm going to apply this over the entirety of the model. Every single little part is going to get touched by this shade wash. And as you can see, because we added the Flow Aid, it gives it a nice gentle appearance. We're not going to let it oversaturate too heavily on areas. We just really want just some deep points and just some of the deep folds, a little bit into the cloth and the cape and everything like that, but otherwise you don't want it sitting too heavy. Once it's dry completely, of course, we are going to have something that looks a little bit like this. We're going to come back to the Thar brown, or Marron brown, whichever was on the label. Basically, this is what we did the cloth in, and of course, we're going to redo the cloth by using this to establish the high points. So basically, we're going to create some highlights here, and you can see here, I'm just following some of the high points, bringing it down from the shadow or from the shoulders, and then coming down, and basically, I'm just following high points on the cloth, and I do that on the legs as well. Blood red is next. This is going to be a highlight for the cloth parts, obviously the cape and his hat. I thin this down ever so slightly with just a little bit of dampness of the brush and begin applying this to the high points of the cloth. As you can see here, I just simply go around and follow all the big areas. Some of the bigger folds, I create bigger lines, and some of the smaller ones, I create smaller lines. But otherwise, we just simply follow those edges. Next, we're going to come in with some African Shadow again, and basically we're going to use this with a bit of Thar brown. We're going to create a highlight color here for the hat. I wanted to pay a little bit more attention to the hat because it's a little bit more fun. And basically what we've done here is we've made a mix of roughly 2 to 1. Again, I've just basically put 2 drops down and 1 drop of the Thar Brown, and basically we begin applying it just to the edges of the hat. Again, just to create a little bit of interest and such. And of course I go through some of the straps as well, some of the other little details here and there. Next is light skin. This is from Scale 75. You can find this in their skin set, as they have all these little sets for you know, easy color swatches. And basically I just apply it to the high points of the face, that the eyebrows, the cheekbones, the nose, and the parts of the chin that are visible. Graphine Gray is next, and this is going to be for the hair again. So basically we're going to come through and just going to capture just the ends of the hair. So I'm just going to be very careful here. And also I'm going to catch the ends of his mustache as well. I don't think I hit the soul patch on his chin. I think I just left that as is. Victorian Brass, once again. Basically, we're just coming through using these colors essentially once over again. And of course, this is a quick way to get this guy to tabletop. Now, if we did want to push the colors further, add more contrast, add more details, we very well could. We could add stripes to the pants. We could finish in the eyes, you know, and really kind of bring out the tone in the face. We could actually, you know, give like a sunburnt look to his flesh because he's out on the boats all day long. You know, all these kind of fun little details we could continue to pull off. But really, I think once we come in here with this Scale 75 white and we just pick out the little edges of the feather, we have a completed model. And so that'll be pretty much it. Again, as I mentioned, we could push the highlights further, but I think what our goal here is to show quickly getting a nice tabletop standard with these fantastic little models. These were a lot of fun, and for anybody out there who isn't really into the game but looking for something fun to paint, I definitely would recommend these guys. These are a lot of fun, some fun details on them, and you know what? Who doesn't like pirates? Army mateys, I will see you later.